Hi, I'm Todd Heitkamp, the owner of Dakota Angler here in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, with this week's 2-minute fishing report. Well, folks, the main question we always get asked is how is the fish biting, or where are the fish biting? And honestly, folks, right now it seems like every lake is producing some nice walleyes. You just got to move around quite a bit to find them, and also dodge the wind, as we've been experiencing again this past week. But a lot of lakes up in the northeastern part of the state continue to be the same ones we've talked about in previous weeks. Bitter is doing really well, especially using the west access. Also, Opitz is doing really well using slip bobbers. Other lakes include Waubay, Indian Springs, Dry Lake by Florence, Swan, as well as Casey's Slough continues to produce nice walleyes. Down in the southeastern part of the state, Ponset, Dry Lake by Willow Lake, and by the way, Dry Lake is really shallow, has lost a lot of water. So be careful. A lot of people have hit the road, the Willow Lake Road, and also submerged rock piles, so be aware of that. Other lakes include Thompson, West Oakwood, 81 Ponds, and Sinai, all doing quite well for walleyes. Other lakes that have been producing some walleyes in the southeast include Beaver, Vermilion, Wall Lake, Diamond, Twin, the Trophy Lake, and then also Lake Grant and Madison. And then also the Missouri River, guys are catching fish all the way from Pierre through Chamberlain, and now the bite seems to be picking up at Platte, so keep that in mind as well. And mainly what they've been using, jigs and minnows, or some type of live bait presentation all across the area. And as far as the crappie bite is concerned, it seems like it's tapered off a little bit because we lost a lot of water temperatures this past week. But guys are still catching a few crappies at Thompson, Sinai, Vermilion, Pickerel, as well as Ponset. And at Ponset, they've been really nice size. What have they been using? Shiny heinies and minnows. So if you don't have a shiny heiny yet, come on in. I'll gladly set you up with a shiny heiny. And last week, folks, we introduced you to this new topic, or this new segment of the 2-minute fishing report. I didn't hear from too many people. I hope you enjoyed it, but we'll continue this week's version of basically talking about jigs. Last week, we introduced the topic of jigs and plastics. People have been asking me, well, what size jig do you use? Really, it depends on the bait and the size of the bait that you're going to use. A 16th ounce would be great for smaller minnows, smaller plastics. Then you get into a quarter, 1/8 ounce, quarter, 3/8, really get into the larger baits, such as larger minnows and larger plastics. But again, it also depends on how deep you want to go. If you want to have it bounce off the bottom and you got a little bit of wind, you want to cast a little bit further, go with the heavier jig. So all things that to keep in mind when you're jig fishing out there. And then also, folks, people have been saying, well, it's hard for me to put the plastic on the hook itself. Well, folks, there's companies out there that make it easier for you, such as Northland. I mean, we sell a lot of mimic minnows. This is probably one of the more popular walleye jigs that we sell every year. It comes with the jig and the plastic already on there, so you don't have to worry about threading that piece of plastic on your hook. And then you have this the swim bait jig already there. So if you're really not interested in buying two separate things, come on by and get your supply of mimic minnows. They work really well. And then next week, we'll talk about the sensitive rods that you can buy to increase your production when you're out on the lake. Now it's time to take a look at a few photos that you sent in to me this past week. And remember, folks, if you'd like your photo included in next week's version of the 2-minute fishing report, please send it to me. Send it to todd@dakotaangler.com or post it to our Facebook wall. And if I use your photo, your name will be entered into a monthly drawing for a $25 gift certificate. And finally, folks, as we end this week's report, I want to remind you that if you're planning on any type of trip, as I've reminded you each and every week, but if you're planning on needing a flat of crawlers, a half flat, a half pound of leeches, or a full pound of leeches, give us a call at 605-336-9132 to reserve your flat today. Also, folks, this coming weekend, I should say, is Free Fishing Weekend in South Dakota, and we're going to have a number of specials here in the store. So make sure you stop on by, whether or not you need anything whatsoever, stop on by and take a look at all the specials that we have going on, including a special on Rapalas. You get a free hat or shirt for every 5 or 6 Rapalas that you buy. It's something that we did last year. Also a number of specials on rods and various other tackles. So make sure you stop on by this coming weekend. Well, folks, that's this week's 2-Minute Fishing Report. For Dakota Angler, I'm the owner, Todd Heitkamp, and as we say around here, fish on. We'll see you next week. And again, thanks for watching.